Okay, second hour of the Elias Macko Show, and we have so much to get to. We're going to begin this hour by taking a look at the situation with the REM. Of course, this week, it has been anything but reliable. This morning, dozens of extra shuttle buses were added to the morning rush hour just to ensure that there was a backup in place in case we saw the failures we've seen all week. Let's try and get some answers. Francis Labbé joins us. He works in media relations for CDPQ Infra. That's the infrastructure arm of Quebec's pension fund that is in charge of the REM. Francis, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
First things first, since you work in media relations, I have to ask you if there's been enough transparency. I will say this, ever since the REM opened up, we've made multiple requests to get you on the show for various issues, not you specifically, but to get someone from the REM to come on at various points. We were only successful on launch week, and I got to say, it has been difficult, I think, at times. And I don't know if it has to do with the fact that we're an English radio station, maybe not as important as the French side. I see sometimes interviews done on the French side and nothing done on the English side. Have you guys been transparent enough? Before we even get into this week and all the troubles, has there been a failure of communication with the REM and the public?
Well, personally, I've been making dozens of interviews since the past few days, and we got your invitation yesterday, and here I am.
Yeah, but I understand that now we have an issue, right? And it's a very serious issue, and there is a full court offensive. I'm seeing the top boss at CDPQ Infra do interviews, so obviously this week is different. I'm just talking about, since the REM has launched, has the communication been there? Because I got to say, it's a little bit frustrating for a brand new public transportation option where I don't think the lines of communication with the public have been as open through previous issues. This is not the first time there have been issues.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I cannot describe or explain or justify what has been done before I got to CDPQ Infra. But what I can tell you is that I'm available and I will answer these questions. And since I'm here in this organization, I don't see a lack of communication. But I do admit that nowadays we're living a difficult period. And the winner we know pointed out some issues we have to fix. And that's what we'll be doing starting now.
Okay, so I've heard that the REM was designed to work with situations 44 centimeters of snow in the previous 24 hours. It could handle that. Clearly supposed to, right? So it hasn't happened. No. What can you tell us as to why? What are the failures? What has failed equipment-wise to lead to our situation this week?
So right now, the most important issue we face is with the rail switch. That is the equipment that allows the train to get from one set of tracks to the other. So, for example, if a train goes southbound towards Brossard, it can go on the switch and then go for the course on the other set to go northbound, offering the frequency we are asking for. But we have issues right now with these rail switches. They're affected by the important amount of snow carried by the wind of the last days, and the ice and snow is affecting the mechanism within the engine operating the switch. So we have to operate manually. We have to intervene to remove the ice and snow, and this complicates the service. And that's the main issue we are facing since about 10 days now.
Who makes those switches, and can you ask for a refund? Is the company on site? Tell me more about if this is the problem, these switches, who's going to pay the price here for these delays?
Of course, you will understand that kind of answer will be given by people whose offices are higher than mine. But what I can tell you is that we are working on a permanent basis with our supplier. The supplier of that specific engine for the switches is Alstom. We are working with Alstom and our operators to try to fix that, try to find short-term solutions to bring the service back to its normal as quickly as possible, and long-term solutions so it doesn't happen when our network is fully integrated.
What happened this morning with rush hour? How did the REM perform between 6 and 9 this morning?
Well, It started slowly at 6 a.m., a little later than expected. We had two cars circulating back and forth. We added some more cars, getting a service quite close to the normal. But at 8:30, we had one train having a technical issue at Panama Station in Brossard. We had to remove that car, and a few minutes later, there was a problem with our switches near Central Station, and these two situations don't have a link between them, but they had an impact. So for about 20 minutes, the service was not available between, let's say, 8:30 and maybe 10 past 9. So now as we speak, the service is offered, but yes, as you mentioned earlier in this interview, we have additional buses that are adding an alternative for our users during peak periods. So these additional buses were there this morning, and we launched as well our backup plan with additional shuttles that will stay here day long today to offer another alternative to our users so they can commute.
Can you tell us if people have abandoned the REM, like the usage numbers? Have people figured out they should just stay away right now? And have you seen a drop in users?
It takes a while to have the latest numbers, so I don't have them right now. But, more likely people will have chosen alternatives to the REM in the past few days, and we understand that. Now our focus is to fix the problems and get the service back to normal as quickly as possible, and that's what our crews are doing.
But can I just ask you, shouldn't you have real-time data? People who use the REM, don't they just tap a card and go on? Wouldn't you know how many people have tapped this morning already? Shouldn't it be lightning fast in real time data?
It should be if we were operating each and every operations related to that. But as you might know, all the tariffs and the fares and the passes to get on public transit in Montreal is managed by another authority than CDPQ Infra. Uh-huh. So these data are not accessible in the real time for us right now.
Okay, so what do you say, just there, right? In the course of our interview, we have to talk about the switches. Well, it's someone else in a supplier. We got to deal with them to get data on who's on the train. Well, we have to deal with other people. We don't have that. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. Long term, it sounds like a recipe for disaster for reliability.
Well, what I can tell you, yes, there are many people around the table and working on this project. But we also have many people around the table when we met the Ministry of Transportation earlier this week, and we came up with solutions. So it is possible to work with partners and be efficient. Now, what we have to do is to be efficient with the issues we're facing, and I can assure you that everyone is on it.
So what do you say to someone who has given up on the REM, who is listening to us right now on their car radio and has said that that's it, can't trust it, not reliable? What do you say to those people?
What we say to these people is that we understand that position, and we know we must do better, but everyone is at it right now, and time will tell if we're right, and we are confident we'll be able to bring that REM to the quality of service that is expected from us.
Do Quebecers have a lemon on their hands?
No, they don't.
Tell me why.
It's because there are still adjustments to make to that product, and it's the REM is brand new as compared to the Metro, for example. The Metro has been in place since more than 60 years now. So we have a brand new network, and we are still learning from all the different conditions we operate under. And we are fixing problems as they come, and the more time passes, the less problems we're going to have. So we're not asking for people to be that patient, but we know that we improve on a constant basis, and we'll continue to do so.
Francis, we're going to have to leave it there. Hopefully in the future we can speak to some of the top bosses of CDPQ Infra to talk more about the REM. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Francis Labbé does media relations for CDPQ Infra. That's the infrastructure arm of Quebec's pension fund in charge of the REM.